If you claim to support P-State, but you don't support H Group, and furthermore, you condemn H Group for playing violins on Octagon 7, then you don't support the P people, you don't support the P state, and you don't support the P cause. But why, you ask? Isn't P resistance bigger than H Group? No. H Group is the material, real-world opposition to the I state's T-wordism, deploying moral idealism against a third world resistance group fighting their own annihilation, systematically deinstitutionalized and deprived of their human rights in what is considered the worst humanitarian crisis on Earth before Octagon 7, when their drinking water was 97% poison, when half their population was legally labeled food insecure, when 80% of their population was wholly dependent on foreign handouts from humanitarian organizations, when 90% of their economy was reduced to being smuggled in through tunnels, just means that you are a deeply unserious person. Upholding the poorest place on Earth, a place more densely packed than Tokyo, in which Western leaders have likened the living conditions to an open-air concentration camp, to the standards of the rich Western European countries and the United States rules-based order, which is criminally culpable in perpetrating the humanitarian crisis in the first place, is absolutely ridiculous. Keep in mind that it is always a common feature of liberalism to support all resistance groups and movements against tyranny, except for the present one. Are you implying that you know more about P resistance than the actual P people who are resisting? Are you seriously suggesting that all H-letter groups of resistance in the Middle East who are fighting against United States imperialism should be condemned for not upholding and integrating Western values into their culture? Are you attributing the label of fascist T-word to H Group and not I State? What you label as radical extremism is cultivated in the soil of repression. If anyone in this geopolitical situation is worthy of the label radical extremist religious fanatics hell-bent on T-wordistic violins, it's I State. Think about it. After 60 years of illegal occupation, suffocating blockade and siege and ethnic cleansing, all condemned by the international community, the people of P-State elected H Group in 2007. It took 40 years of I State's apartheid regime with all its horrendous and hideous consequences brought to bear against the P people before H Group was even chartered in 1987. That was still exactly 2 decades after the UN Resolution 242 was passed, condemning I State for its illegal act of aggression against the P people. Guess what? H Group is what we get. We must stand behind them 110%. They are the only ones fighting for their people, as the rest of us cowards sit and watch.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Clinton sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Obama gave the orders to do drone strikes.